93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello and welcome into Youth Football 101 right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Make sure, as always, if you have any questions throughout the show, text the Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. But I'm just going to throw it over to you guys because we got a lot. You guys got a lot to cover, I'm assuming, today.
Yeah, we do. Today we're doing we're going to call this the frequently asked questions section.
Ooh, I like that.
We had it set up originally to have one of our clubs come in. PSG, Plant, Police, Sandhills Global was coming in. But with Max Butenbaugh playing right now for the Huskers, the family's up watching and supporting them. So we had to pivot a little bit. So for those of you that don't know, my name's Jim Sandman. I'm the president of the club of Lincoln Youth Football, and we're joined in studio by the first time with our commissioner, Mike Selvage.
Awesome.
Welcome, Mike. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me today.
Yeah. And again, this is Lincoln Youth Football segment of Everything Youth Football, powered by the Character Chronicles. So we're going to just kind of kick it off. Like I said, we're kind of going in, have our summer stuff starting up and getting moving. So we're going to just kind of go through and discuss that and branch off as we go. You want to start with Summer 7v7, Mike?
Sure. So our Summer 7-on-7 will start this Wednesday at the Lincoln Youth Football Complex at 5:30 is the first game. We'll have we've got our age groups from 8 and 9, 8th and 9th grade, 7th and 6th grade, and then our 4th and 5th graders. A lot of good games. They'll play each team gets to play 2 games a night. It's fast moving, quick pace. It's a lot of fun to come out and watch. If you need something to do on a Wednesday night, there's no gate fee. Just come out and have some fun. Grab a Pepsi and a hot dog and enjoy some good football.
Yeah. And that's our league is all done in-house. So everything we have from our coaches, our LYF coaches, our players, it's open to any player that wants to play. But we also have our officials are actually all former LYF players. Kind of try and get those kids involved and keep them in the community and working. And hopefully they eventually step into coaching as they go, like you and I both have. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a good time. Come out, come and watch, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So good. Okay. How do we want to start this, Mike? How do you want to go through and discuss the frequently asked questions that you as commissioner get when people get on the LYF webpage and send you a message? Let's do this. What is one of the most asked questions that you've had in the last 10 days?
Well, this time of the year with registration for both tackle and flex still being open, which is open on our website at LincolnYouthFootballLeague.com. But one of the questions we always get is, what's it cost to play?
Sure. So we could just break it off with that. Tackle costs $310 a season, right?
That's right. $310 for tackle and flex is $135 plus equipment. For those of you who may not know what flex is, it's a padded flag, but we get to incorporate more people into the game, more kids. It's a padded helmet, padded shoulder pads, soft shells, and it's still flag, but we do 9-on-9 instead of traditional flag where they have 7 kids out there, or 6 kids out there. We get to incorporate 9 kids and make it feel a little bit more like a real football game.
Sure. And for those of you that are curious, we talk all the time in passing and just quick spurts about our scholarship program. Between using our gate fees and some of corporate sponsorship we have, we are able to provide scholarships for tackle and for flex, correct?
Yeah, we provide, last year we provided over $24,000 in scholarships to the Lincoln community for kids who needed help to be able to come out and play. And we have that scholarships open again. That's again on our website at LincolnYouthFootballLeague.com. You can go there, click the scholarship button. If you need help with your registration fees, go fill out the form. It takes less than 2 minutes, and then our scholarship coordinator will get back to you in the next few days and let you know if you qualify.
That's great. That's great. Having the scholarship's always great. And trying to do things the way we're doing it now without the fundraising. I'm sure most people listening now can remember having to go around and sell the candy bars like we used to have to do as kids. Now, with that $310 that we have, what all does that include for equipment?
So your registration fee will get you for tackle. It gets you everything you need with the exception of your cleats, your mouthpiece, and padded girdle.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the teams, I would always recommend having an extra practice jersey just so you don't have to do laundry every night. Kind of help out a little bit, especially in the beginning of the season where we practice 3 or 4 nights a week.
Sure. That's great. And for those of you that don't know, padded girdles, a lot of us clubs are going away from integrated pants. So integrated pants has, back in the day, we had the pads that slipped in and out of the pockets in the pants. And now we've kind of gone away from that. So you can actually go and buy from Nike or, Reebok or Under Armour. They all have their different, they almost look like the old school bike shorts, but they have pads on them. So you flip those on under your pants, then you don't have to move the heavy pads in and out. Okay. I guess that should be enough for that, I think. And again, if you guys have any questions with what we're doing today, go ahead and text the Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. So we can go through and answer any questions you have. This is kind of your week to get through and ask any questions that you have. I also got some questions on the Allo Facebook page, the Allo Youth Football Facebook page this week about camps, about some of the free camps we have. A lot of our clubs do preseason camps on the side, but we also do other camps. I know we have a Ron Brown camp coming up soon. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, we have the Ron Brown Pass It On camp coming up June 20th at the Lincoln Youth Football Complex over on 225 South Street. That's open to kids who have completed 2nd grade or third through 7th graders. There'll be lots of former Huskers there. Coach Ron Brown's there. It's a great opportunity to come out, learn some football skills, and spend some time with some Huskers. It's a good time.
Yeah, it's a great time, and open it up to the community and get all different kinds of kids in. And again, the camps we do, they're not just for LYF athletes. They're open for anybody that's interested and wants to come in.
Shout out Ron Brown. Ron Brown has been on the station a few times talking with DP. Can you kind of talk about a little bit more about Ron? Because he's kind of, Husker coach, pretty famous. What has he been all doing with you guys?
Well, this will be our 3rd year of having the campers at the 4th.
I think this is actually our 4th year.
Yeah.
Yep.
They just kind of all blend in together from season to season. Ron has always had the Pass It On camp that they come in. He invites LYF coaches to help too. So some of our coaches get some extra work in. They just come out for the evening, and Ron has his message that he likes to share with the kids. It's a great time. We go through and run the players break off with their own position groups and have their drills, and we do some rotating, and it's just an evening of having a good time.
Yeah, Ron Brown's awesome. So I can only imagine how great that camp could be.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great show to listen with when he and DP have some conversations here on the evening.
Very insightful. Always insightful, those two.
That's right.
Get those two in a room together. They could talk all day.
Definitely.
They could have a 24-hour show and they'd fill it.
That's great.
They'd fill it.
That's a good time. Yeah.
You do need to pre-register for that camp if you're going to go, just because they need to know how many people are going to be there so they can have enough players to come down and help out. So you can go onto our website, LincolnYouthFootballLeague.com. Scroll down a little ways. You'll see the camp promotion right on the front page of our website. You can either click on it or scan the QR code with your phone and register for the camp. It's pretty quick, easy process to go through.
Good.
It's all free to anybody who wants to come out.
And while we're speaking of the website, we hit on 7v7 earlier. We have our 7v7 schedules. If there's been a little bit of confusion as to where the schedules are for the league, Those are also right there on the front web page. We've made it easy this year, just kind of popped it right there so everybody can get on and look at all the schedules. So that bears to be mentioned also.
Yeah.
Very cool. We have, like I mentioned earlier, with the camps and the league and everything else, we are about to hit the ground running. We are about to get real busy with the league. We have some dates coming up and some deadlines coming up that we want to discuss a little bit. We've talked for the last few weeks about how there's different districts, and the different, depending on where you live, is where you play, right? We have a deadline coming up for registration to guarantee that you play in your home district. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a little ways off yet, but it's July 14th. You have to be registered for tackle by July 14th to be guaranteed to play in your district. Shortly after that, we get everybody mapped out, and we'll get the sponsor letters out within a week of that deadline, and then the first practice will be August 1st. It'll be here before we know it.
Yeah, it hits right away, and then we have flex starting right after that, right? 13th?
Yeah, flex will start on the 11th, the week of the 11th. Okay. So any of those days during that week, as the sponsors set their schedule. Jim, you want to kind of talk about how that works? With the league really doesn't set the practice schedules other than the first day. How does Allo set the practice schedules for? Well,
the only restriction that we have for practicing is how many hours we can get together a week, right? That's in the league rule book. So some clubs go through and they practice 2 nights a week for 2 hours. I prefer with shorter attention spans of my coaches, not the players, of my coaches, to go through and go 3 nights a week. So once practice starts, we hit the ground running right away and go a couple weeks full. But then after the first game, we go through and practice 3 times a week. We'll go Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for an hour and a half at a time. So, but something that everybody kind of needs to understand is, up until our first game, which is the week before Labor Day, we go 4 nights a week. It's that time that we kind of take the time and do the evaluations. We've talked here before, Tank and I have, about how we go through and place kids not necessarily by age, but by where they're going to be most successful. So we have that time to evaluate and get kids placed. And, it seems like we have 3 weeks, but it feels like 2.5 practices before we have to have teams made so the kids can start to bond and everything else. We have our game that first week, then we have Labor Day off, and then we have another week practice, and then we're straight into it, So then we have 7 weeks straight after that. So,
yeah. And then we'll finish up out at the
out of UBT.
Northwest UBT Stadium for the final championship game at the end of the season.
Yeah,
that'll be something new this year. Be kind of fun and exciting.
Yeah, it'd be a good time. So we'll go to break, and we'll be back to wrap up this first part of the show.
Yeah, you're listening to Youth Football 101 right here at 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out, because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out, with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, this deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hey, he looked as advertised. He looked really good in the spring game. And because of that, we're going back to a bowl game this year, is what Husker fans are telling them. So I think the fans have a more realistic perspective, and I think this coaching staff has done a really good job of handling Dylan Raiola and the expectations around him.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Alcohol has strained our relationship. Drinking too much can cause harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, we will save our relationship. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
By now, most of you know how important the Honda of Lincoln sales and service team are to the Lincoln market. Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear from Honda of Lincoln to tell you about the great news they just received. Andy, please tell us all about it.
Each year, the Lincoln Journal-Star has an award program called the Lincoln Choice Award, where the customers in Lincoln get to choose the best places to do business. Great pleasure, I get to announce that Honda of Lincoln has won the award for buying new cars, used cars, automotive repair, and even oil changes.
That is amazing, Andy. Any more good news?
Yes, there is, Charlie. We now have more than 100 new Hondas in stock, with hundreds on the way, and a huge selection of all makes and models on our pre-owned lot.
Incredible. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
This is area race announcer James Rowland. Join me and Bree Fansteel every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket for the Finish Line, where we cover all things motorsports from local racing to racing around the world. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
School tells you all about the 4 seasons: spring, summer, and so on. And then there's a way we really tell what time of year it is. Sports seasons, football season, baseball season, or even off season. Well, what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now, of course. And now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season, y'all. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolatseason.com. See you there.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. When it comes to gift giving, it's all about the wow factor. And let me tell you, nothing wows quite like jewelry. Whether it's a delicate necklace or a statement ring, jewelry makes the right statement. So if you want to knock her socks off, or anything else for that matter, skip the generic gifts and go straight for the bling. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One last segment here on Youth Football 101 right here at 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. We're going to do one segment of youth football before we get 7-on-7 here.
Sure.
In studio. So we're going to go, it's about 5 minutes, and then we'll bring 7-on-7 in. So what are you guys going to talk about last segment?
Well, honestly, I want to mention on that, Ben. So, we have a couple kids coming in after that are actually my tackle players. So we can talk a little bit about the crossover on the next one.
We're going to crossover.
There you go. We like that. Crossover like the weekdays, right? So we've gone through, talked about a lot of our dates and our important questions that are asked. Let's talk a little bit about game days. Game days on Wednesday nights. Again, our 7v7 league starts this Wednesday. So let's talk about that first, Mike. Let's talk about what the parking situation is down there at Sherman Field at the Lincoln Youth Football Complex.
So we obviously share the parking area with Sherman Field, which this is baseball season for summertime, and we expect that there'll be Legion games on Wednesday nights down there. So people are going to want to pay attention where you park. Make sure you're not parking in foul ball territory or someplace where you can get hit. Your vehicle can get hit by a foul ball coming out.
Yeah, we don't need any broken windshields.
No, we don't want broken windshields or broken windows or big dents in the middle of your hood. So just kind of pay attention. We have the parking open. There's parking available across the street. Just park your vehicle in a good, safe spot when you're down there.
Right, and across the street, that's at Sawyer Snell Field, right?
Yeah, Sawyer Snell Park. Yep.
Park, correct. Okay, so we have that. Our first tackle game is August
25th.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about for quite a few years, you and I and our families have been involved in a Sunday morning. So just for fun, let's talk about what a Sunday looks like, right? So we roughly show up. It's a race between your family and mine. Well, we usually get there at 6 a.m.
Around 6 a.m., yeah.
Yeah, 6 a.m. And then as we've mentioned before, my wife, Karen, and both my daughters run the concession stand at the park, where Mike's family goes through and does a lot of our field operation stuff. So we all work together. My son gets in on the field stuff too. But so let's just walk through. We're there at 6 o'clock. Gates are open. What do we do from there?
Well, we start by getting all the field set up, getting it ready to go. Usually we prep some of it on Saturdays or Fridays before, but then we come down at 6 o'clock, get the fields set up, get all the safety equipment out that we need as far as protecting the goalposts, and then put up all the numbers and chain sets and get everything ready to go, get the gate started. Karen goes in and, pretty hard to resist that popcorn at 7 a.m. when that popcorn popper starts going bright and early to get enough popcorn going started for the day.
Popcorn's going, grill's going right away with the sausage patties for the breakfast sandwiches we have there. So it's always fun to start that way.
Yeah, it's always a good way to start. Then as the day goes on, depending on when we start games, people start showing up about 8 o'clock, and man, the place fills up fast. We'll 1,200 kids plus all the referees and Red Cross and the Nebraska ortho group staff that comes down for our sports medicine. There's a lot of people out there. It's a lot of fun on Sundays.
That brings up something great too that I don't think we've ever mentioned, is the fact that we have a partnership with Lincoln Orthopedic,
Nebraska Orthopedic.
Nebraska Orthopedic. It's Nebraska Orthopedic now, where they have health training staff on hand from when our first game starts to when the last game ends.
Yeah, it's Nebraska Orthopedic, and they partner with Bryan Health to have great sports medicine folks out there all day. On Sundays, they're out there to help with any injuries, also to help with injury prevention as far as, taping ankles or padding casts, giving guidance on the best way to pad a cast or something if a kid comes in from skateboarding and does something, hurts their arm or falls off the playground equipment. They come out there and help us with that sort of stuff. It's a great partnership, and it's a great asset for us to have out there.
Cool. Yeah. So games go through, right? We get certain levels finished at different times so we can kind of tear the field down. Tearing the field down, then we go through and have, as we said before, our field crew go through, because we try to remove our pads and everything off every Sunday night, right? Kind of walk through the closing then.
Basically, we just do the opposite of what we started with. We come through, pick everything up, and make sure the park's all cleaned up and ready, start to reset and get ready for the next week.
Sure. We're usually waiting on Karen to get out of concessions by the time we're all done, because she likes to have everything nice and clean. Then we roll out by about 7 o'clock. So
yeah, it's a long day, but it's a lot of fun every day.
It is. And
always look forward to Sundays.
With how many of the people we have out there that are volunteers, it's huge, right? So let's do that. Thank you to everybody that volunteers for LYF. Thank you to the coaches. Thank you to the parents for taking the time to bring your kids to practice and games. And we will talk to you next week. We'll get back into the club work and we'll go from there.
Yeah, we got 7-on-7 coming up next for the next half an hour. But with that, we're going to throw it to break. You're listening to Youth Football 101 right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
You know that dollar bill you've got stuffed in your wallet, purse, or pocket? Give it a little respect because it could win you millions. Lotto America from the Nebraska Lottery is here, and it only costs $1 to play. It has a $2 million starting jackpot with drawings every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. What's more, you can add the All-Star bonus for an additional $1 to multiply any prize won. So unwrinkle that dollar bill in your glove box and play today. Lotto America top prize odds 1 in 26 million.
Soulful Casino in Havelock is a family-owned business, providing incredible food and service that'll have you craving more with every bite. Soulful Casino offers everything from pulled pork to fried chicken, catfish, ribs, and even quesadillas. You want sides? They've got them. From fries, green beans and baked beans, to collard greens, potato salad, and sweet dill corn. Stop by for lunch as they have specials Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. That's Soulful Casino, located in Havelock, where every bite you take fills the soul.
Keep summer green with Judson Baleen and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install 'em and forget 'em outfit long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Old School with DP and J.
Very small percentage of players, coaches, administrators thinking like, I'm planting my flag here. Nick Saban's run probably won't happen. It takes a very unique person and personality to be comfortable where you are, be strong enough to push to get what you need, and then also be very strong enough in a player's standpoint to advocate for yourself at the right time.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. When it comes to gift giving, it's all about the wow factor. And let me tell you, nothing wows quite like jewelry. Whether it's a delicate necklace or a statement ring, jewelry makes the right statement. So if you want to knock her socks off, or anything else for that matter, skip the generic gifts and go straight for the bling. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to Everything Youth Football. We are going to break into the 7v7 section here, right? We have some of the U14 Nebraska Red Wolves joining us tonight. And also, I think I'm going to mention a little bit here that we were talking about the crossover, right? How Nebraska 7v7, the Red Wolves, how LYF, how we kind of all commingle, right? We have kids that play with us, play everything else. We have 2 kids that actually are Allo kids, right? You guys can introduce yourselves in a bit. It's okay. And then one actually UBT player. However, I got the privilege of coaching him on All-Star this year. So it's kind of cool to be able to see you guys come in. So we're joined by Coach Cash Skinner, right? Yeah. Coach Cash, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up with Nebraska Red Wolves?
Oh, well, first off, I love football. That's where it first starts off. Played all throughout high school, had success with that. Played a little bit in college, but tore my shoulder for freshman year of fall camp. So I really never got the full experience. I decided maybe it's time to put it up and think more on the mental side. I've always knew I wanted to coach in some form or fashion. And just luckily enough, you talk enough about what you want to do and you run into special people like Tank Perry. He gets things done and he lets you have opportunities that works for you. And so he was talking about it. And I told him, I was like, hey, if you need help, let me know. And so about a week ago would be my first full year coaching. I started the summer workout training over at Speedway with Tank, and he got that set up. And I ran that all summer, and then going into the Neiman season. And after the Neiman season, he asked me to join the 7-on-7 with the Red Wolves. And so got a good group. And going back to the crossover, it was cool because Neiman stuff, obviously you have like 5 teams, hopefully some more in LYF. But there's a little bit of a disconnect to start, especially with something so new with the Red Wolves being 3 years. And so you had a little bit of a disconnect at the start of the year with these guys. You had your Allo kids, you had your UBT kids, you had your Neiman kids. And so there's a little bit of that tension still. It was like, okay, I don't like it. Oh, we know what Neiman is. But it was a really cool thing from a coach's perspective to know that and then to see throughout the year how close everyone got. Just a little bit of a stats track from the season where we got really hot. We went 15-2 over a span. 1 second place and 2 championships. We averaged 30 points per game with this unit. Our defense averaged giving up only 16 points per game with a 242-point differential over the span. That is an amazing accomplishment, and that came from the meshing going together. And that just brings me back to our Mother's Day tournament. My goal was to make sure we're giving back to all the moms and the parents for doing all this and taking all the time. And I wanted to get as many people in the game and to do something to represent on the scoreboard. And we had guys on the bench. Our team was deep, and we had guys that were scoring. We won that game 41-0 in the semifinals of this tournament, and we had guys of some of the Neiman kids, some of the guys that were just team players and people loved on the team was like, I want this guy to score. And it was really cool to see because the entire team was like, okay, it's this guy's turn. It's this guy's turn. A lot of our starters, these guys have always held the foundation all year long. These guys started for me all year. And I mean, they were more than happy to, after we got up 14-0, to sit back and watch and enjoy their teammates have some success. And that was definitely my favorite part of this year's season. And so I'm excited to be with these guys until they graduate high school because they're going to do special things.
That's cool.
I'm definitely going to pass it on to them and let them talk about their own experiences too, because this is who they're really about. These guys are the foundation. These guys are really getting the great start at 14 to get all these resources coming to them at the best time.
That's great. That's great. Who wants to start? Why don't we just go through before we start asking questions and you guys introduce yourselves? If you want to talk about what tackle club you played for, we know you play for the Red Wolves. We want to talk about what high school you're going to. Let's just have a discussion about it. Okay. So who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay. All right.
My name's Carson Fritton. I played for UBT and now for the Red Wolves, and we'll be playing for them probably in the summer. That's it for me.
Where are you going to go to high school next year?
I'll be going to Southwest High School.
Cool.
My name is Isaac Tomhave, and I played for Allo, and I go to East.
My name's Tate Harris. I play for Allo, and I'm going to Standing Bear.
That's awesome. Just goes to show how, Coach, you were talking about how when they all came together, how they didn't know if they liked them or not. We all understand that football, sports in general, is a universal language, right? is eventually you realize that your teammates and you can learn to play with everybody. That's the point of sports, right? We can adapt and we can work together. So if we're going through and talking about this, let's talk. Coach Cash, why don't I'm going to start with you. I know that you listed off, your stats and about how you guys did at your tournament. What was for you as a coach? What is your proudest moment of the year so far?
Like I said, that Mother's Day tournament, but for me, perspective-wise, with the Neiman year, we were in a rebuilding year. Obviously, some of you guys, if you have a little bit of familiarity with the history of OIF, Neiman's have a different history, and I was brought in to change the culture and put a winning culture behind it. And so I didn't see the results necessarily on the scoreboards, but I saw it within the team and in the athletes, and I brought that attention to the Red Wolves, and I brought some things that worked better. The big thing for me was I just wanted these kids to realize how special this unit was together, how they meshed, the size, the athleticism, and the knowledge at such a young age. That was the thing that once you realize is when things started clicking. I remember it was the tournament. We got invited to a 15U tournament, and I didn't tell them about it. So they're playing in a tournament in Omaha with 15-year-olds. This was our first championship. We started this tournament. We lost 21-11. I was not happy. Coach definitely got on them a little bit. Definitely got him some energy, and we ended up winning out the rest of that tournament, beating every team by 20 in a 15U tournament in Omaha. And so it was funny because after that, they're like, "Come on, you need to hype us up like you did before." And I'm like, I was mad. I was like, "You guys have to make me get to that point." Like, I was like, "I don't want to have to do that, but I'll try." Like, I'm a very enthusiastic coach, and that's the energy they get out of me. I'm hopping in the drills. I'm gonna get physical with them. I'm gonna do one-on-ones with them. I'm gonna be part of that and bring that dog to them, because if someone doesn't pull it out, who will? Sometimes you gotta grab it and help them pull it out.
Sure. Well, it's like the old adage goes, right? Guys today aren't going to care until they know that we care, right? So first of all, I have to take a second and say the work you guys are doing in Neiman is great. The foundation you guys are laying for the almost kind of not necessarily rebranding, but the work that you guys in Tank are doing is phenomenal. So thank you for that.
Of course,
okay.
of course.
So if we're going to keep going with the questions, Carson, go ahead. What was your most memorable part of being a part of the Red Wolves so far?
My most memorable moment of being part of the Red Wolves would probably be either the Mother's Day or that 15U tournament, just because everyone was a year older than us. Everyone had an extra year under their belt. And I thought that, with us just playing as hard as we did, we came out with a championship win. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Sure. How did it feel playing 7v7 back at the park, back at the Lincoln Youth Football Complex? Because as we've said before, OIF and Nebraska 7v7 try and work back and forth with using some of the fields. You guys have tournaments all over that you travel, but was it any different, more comfortable maybe playing back down at the complex, or was it different with the shorter fields looking different? What did you think about that?
I mean, I thought it was like fine. I liked it a lot. And it was a little weird just with the shorter like width of the field, but I thought it was awesome. I loved playing at that field.
Going back to the overtwining, I feel like once again they all played against each other on that field. That was our only tournament this year that we won, undefeated in pool play and tournament. So everyone won that day, all day long, and so that was a really good back to the intertwining of everything. That's really cool thing.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Isaac, how about you? What's your favorite part of playing for the Red Wolves so far? Your most memorable moment?
Probably when we went down to Oklahoma for our first tournament.
Move the mic a little bit closer to you. I got you.
Like this?
Yeah.
Probably when we went down to Oklahoma for our first tournament, because we didn't do good at all. But when it came to bracket play, we were ahead of the team by, I don't know, what was it?
A score. So it was a very close game. And I mean, he had an awesome game. This was like his awakening. It's kind of saluted his spot with the starting lineup. My big thing was once you get a starting spot, don't give me a reason to give it away. I mean, Tom Brady lived by that quote. Once you give me that opportunity, I'm going to take it around with it. And I think he was our shining star in that Oklahoma tournament. And in our bracket pool game, he had 2 huge touchdowns late. And I mean, a huge defensive play by the other team ended that game for us. I mean, that was a grinder at the end. And I mean, that was our first tournament, prep tournament, huge Oklahoma, lots of good teams. I mean, they were ready to go. And it let them know where they need to be.
That's great. That's great. Tate, how about you? Your turn, big man. What's your favorite memory so far of the Red Wolves, playing for the Red Wolves this summer or this spring? Sorry.
Probably the indoor tournament we had in Omaha. We won the semifinal game in overtime. We were down by 2 with like 2 minutes left. That was pretty cool. And then we won the championship.
Cool. Great. Okay. So let's shift gears a little bit different here because this is what they did last week, right? With the players. We know that you guys, are spending a lot of time. You learned a lot for LYF when it had tackle, right? You're using the Red Wolves to expand your knowledge, right? What has your football IQ done, in your opinion, the learning, the coverages and everything like that? How much more has playing for the Red Wolves or playing 7v7 in general, how much has that helped? Because let's do this quick. How many of you played 7v7 for LYF in the last couple of years? So all 3 of you have, right? But doing it during the spring, that has obviously broadened your knowledge base, right?
Yeah.
Carson, go ahead and speak to that a little bit if you want.
About how playing 7v7 in the spring, in the off season, has improved your football IQ, your knowledge.
Cheetah.
I thought that it improved my knowledge just because I got a lot more reps at wide receiver, just catching balls and, learning the route tree and also learning coverages and learning how to run into the open space a little bit more, learning how to run routes correctly, using how to use your leverage just to get open, and mostly just learning how concepts work in the offense. And I thought that it helped me quite a bit.
Sure.
Just getting a lot of reps in.
Cool. So if we're looking at this, right, looking at, they say in order to master a skill, you have to do something 10,000 times, right? So more and more reps, just specializing a little bit, right? Isaac, how do you feel that combining your time in LYF with your time with the Red Wolves, do you think that's going to help in high school?
Yeah, because you definitely get more touches on the ball than not and just sitting at home and doing nothing. So if you play multiple times or go and play as much as you can, then it should help you gain a little bit more skill.
Sure. And we're not necessarily saying that we need to focus solely on football, right? Because most of us play other sports, right? I know, Mr. Harris, you do. What else do you do besides playing 7v7 and tackle football?
I play basketball.
Play basketball. Okay. How about the other guys? what do you guys do? What, Isaac's looking at me like I specialize in football. That's all I want to do, which is okay, right? But we're trying to point out, about how well-rounded our kids are. I'm not saying you're not. Don't worry. Carson, what else do you do besides play football?
I run track.
You run track?
Yeah.
There you go. What events?
100 and 4x1.
100 and 4x1. I'm hoping that by next spring with Tate, he's going to be throwing shot put at his high school because, get that shoulder work in a little bit. So, okay. Coach Cash, what do you think? If we go back to the football IQ, the expanding their knowledge, what's your opinion on it?
My biggest thing is, and they probably getting tired because I'm gonna repeat a lot of stuff I say in practice right now. But my thing is, these guys are athletes and these guys want the ball. And my thing is, there's certain things you have to do to get to those opportunities. And my biggest thing, like you said, getting into space. And I mean, a thing that I think, especially with the younger age, especially with the youth, 14, 15, I feel like a lot of guys see the play art and they just see the route and they just try to mimic exactly that. But they don't go do it based off the coverage of the defense. And so we had a really tall athletic team. And so teams would back off 6-7 yards off us all season. And so I'm looking at a quarterback, we have a cheetah call. That's what I said, cheetah, because a lot of times they would leave him uncovered 5 yards off the line of the slot. And it'd be like, hey, let's just pick up 7 yards here really quick. And it's right there. And there's just nothing you can do about it because you're understanding where you need to go while also still doing your route. So your deep cross, you got two safeties, undercut it a little bit, especially if they're in a deep zone. Sit there, get underneath it, and slow play it, especially these long stride guys. These guys with the long legs, which a lot of our wide receivers had, is like you take a little bit more to get into your out of your full acceleration, full stride. And so stay in that full stride across the field and just stay in the grass. Find the grass, corner routes, seams, all that. Stay to the space. Don't run to the guy sitting in the zone. And so throughout the year, that was, I think, a thing that really made our team succeed a lot. My philosophy is to work down the field, and then once those guys get tired and bored because there's nothing coming, hey, it's coming 9 routes, deep crosses, and then we're having highlight plays, and then now we're blowing out teams. And that's the big thing on the concept. Carson had a really, I was definitely a lot tougher on him some of the times because it felt like a little bit of a disconnect. And I had to talk with them about, like, this is why a concept's working, like a mesh route, something like that. Every route has a reason of doing something. You might not be the target, but you should still run each route with the expectation that the ball is coming to you. And so, I mean, looking for the ball as soon as you get your break, little things like that. Those little mental things are going to take you so much farther if you can get that habit down before your sophomore, junior, freshman in high school. I mean, you're light years ahead of people who's being in the game.
Sure. Okay, here's the big one. See if you guys are ready. See if we can do more than 5 words for our answers. I'm just playing, guys. Okay, so we've talked about how it's improved your football IQ, right? How is playing for Nebraska 7 for the Nebraska Red Bulls, Lincoln Red Bulls, how has that improved you not only as a football player, as an athlete? And what's your opinion on it? What's going to help you, right, in the future?
Learning the concepts, as I said before. I think that a lot of people should learn learn the concepts, because I feel like not a lot of people like around our age know how to mesh and just like mix up people so that you can get open on a slant route. I think it's helped me quite a lot over the last month or so.
Month and a half, yeah. I mean, understand the concept. A lot, like you said, a lot of these kids want to just run 9 routes, run deep crosses, and it's like that stuff's not going to work if you only do that. You got to work it down. And so he was my slot guy, and so he saw a lot of that work on the inside, coming over on a curl in the middle, being a big body. I mean, this guy played with so much aggression and skill. It was crazy to see. Like when I saw these at like 14, I see pictures of the huddle when I'm back there calling plays, and I'm the smallest guy in the huddle. And I mean, I'm not tall by any means, but geez, I look tiny compared to all these guys. And so Carson over the middle of the slot, he's one of the most important people when it comes to concept, especially in the passing game. Your slot receivers, a lot of the time your dump off guy, or it's trying to open up your X guy coming over across the middle. You got to make sure your slot guy is well utilized in an offense if you're going to pass the ball. And he did a really good job of that and open up our offense.
Sure. So you're talking about concepts. You used the word mesh, which all of us in this room understand what the concept of mesh is, right?
Yeah.
I want to go just a little bit deeper than that, though, because let's just really quick, Coach. How many different teams is your U14 made up of right now? 5. So 5 out of the 8. Plus,
actually more, because I have Wilbur, Claytonia, Norris. We have probably 7, 8 teams in there.
Sure. So you guys are providing training for kids that aren't just LIF, it's training all over, right? So we're learning more. So now I want to talk about how the team meshed. See how I did that?
Yeah.
How the team meshed as a group. You know, you guys, Coach made the comment in the last month and a half. You could see when it clicked, right? So in your opinion, does this help besides just football? Does this help you with your social game? Does this help you, through COVID in the last few years, you guys are sitting there with your headphones on. Quite a few of you that sit at home with the headphones on and have your communication, right? But talking face-to-face is a different thing, right? So does the Red Wolves help you with that?
Yeah, I think it helps us quite a bit just because you get to meet new people.
Sure.
And, like Ian McDaniel, I never would have met him if I wasn't playing Red Wolves, just because he goes to Norris and I never would have met him. And, I think we became really good friends just by playing football together. And, me and him still talk quite a bit, just keep in contact.
That's awesome. Isaac, how about you?
You play with a bunch of different kids, so you have to go meet new people, and you have to try and like them instead of just not. You have to talk to them. You have to find.
It's a lot easier to not have to open yourself up and
Yeah.
meet other people, right?
Yeah.
But this is helping you guys to do that, right? Tate, how about you?
It was nice to meet new people and play with kids I never would have played with if I did play for the Red Wolves.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, guys, we have 1 minute. So, Coach Cash, I'm going to let you close this out as a thank you for all the work you're doing with these kids.
Hey, I really do appreciate that. I'm having a lot of fun here. I mean, this is what my passion, I have a job obviously that pays the bills, but this is where I get my joy. And so I spend a lot of time year round doing this stuff, and I'm excited for the next 4 years are going to bring me. I also got to give a shout out to Rob Perry, Tank Perry, Charlie Morris, my defensive coordinator, Coach Sweeney, my other defensive coordinator, those guys. I mean, without the help from all those guys as well, I mean, we wouldn't be in the place we are right now. And so obviously I also want to thank all my players. Shout out Ian, he's watching right now. Like I said, he was a great guy that meshed well, Norris kid, one of my big Z-backs, made a lot of big plays for us. And so, I mean, I want to thank all of my players and the parents for allowing me to coach them. But they really worked very hard for me, and they allowed me to be myself and coach the way I want to and buying in. And that's the biggest thing with meshing. If you can't buy into the system and buying into the coaching, you're not going to buy into the team. You're not going to buy into your teammates. And it starts with the players. It starts with what they do and how the work they put in and the amount of care they have, the amount of effort they give in. So while obviously I can say I call the plays in the offense, it makes it a lot easier when my quarterback can just sling it and a lot of these guys can just go up and go get it. And so it makes me look a lot better on the offensive coaching side of things. But these guys, there's probably a little bit more credit than me, and I'm happy to say that.
That's great. That's great. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. Those of you that are listening and watching at home, thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week with Everything Youth Football.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the